first form that we are doing today is, this is called a Fibonacci poem, which is, if you're familiar with the Fibonacci sequence, and I just repeat it. The first number in that sequence is 1, and the second number is 1. And then every next number is the sum of the previous two numbers. So 1 plus 1 is 2, then 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, and so on. So when we write a Fibonacci poem, the first line will have one word, the second line will have one word, the third line will have two words, then 3, 5, and 8. You can stop at 8, or you can feel more adventurous and go to 13 and 21 and so on. So for our challenge this time is just to write till 8. And just as an example, this is one poem that I wrote, and the title is Leaves. Can anyone read it?
Okay. Leaves drive, fly far, not by design. No one asked them if they would like to leave their homes yet.
Yeah. Thanks, Pranav. So this was my attempt at writing a Fibonacci poem. So for us, as an exercise, we are going to write a Fibonacci. So you have to write a poem. I'll give you a choice between two prompts, and you can choose either or both if you feel like it. The two prompts are summer and doze.
The Fibonacci poem is a newer poetic form that bases itself off of the mathematical Fibonacci sequence. In mathematics, the Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where a number is found by adding up the two previous numbers before it. Starting with 0 and 1, the sequence goes 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on. In poetry, the sequence translates to syllable count. The typical fib is a 6-line, 20-syllable poem with a syllable count line by line of 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, with as many syllables per line as the corresponding number in the Fibonacci sequence. Here's an example of a fib poem written by its contemporary creator, Gregory Pincus. One small, precise, poetic, spiraling mixture. Math plus poetry yields the fib. Some Fibonacci poets try to challenge themselves to make the poems go on longer than 6 lines. The Fibonacci poem, like the mathematical concept it's based on, is named for Leonardo Pisano, the Italian mathematician who was also known as Fibonacci. The poetry form, even though it's really recently been resurfaced, in all likelihood probably goes back even earlier than Fibonacci himself, as Fibonacci said he found instances of his sequence used in old Sanskrit poetry of the 12th century. Gregory Pincus, who is the contemporary founder of it, first used the term on his blog, which spawned hundreds, if not thousands, of fibs being written across the internet. One of the interesting things about Fibonacci poem is that it's a useful tool for lovers of both poetry and mathematics, which is something that you don't see very often.
A new Fibonacci poem called Diplomacy, published in the Fib Review, issue number 14. I hide behind politesse, my eminence grise, muffling internal explosions, keeping the peace, maintaining our entente cordiale. You defuse my ammunition with diplomacy. Etiquette,